Hello, I am Zinfogel. Recently in Pokémon Masters, it's been discovered that you can sleep chain enemies to prevent them from attacking with some good timing, and this is particularly useful for the Entei Legendary Arena event going on currently. In this video, I will teach you how to build a team for a Sleep Lock strat and how to execute it. There are three basic components for a Sleep Lock. You want a Sleep Abuser, a Striker, and an Accuracy Buffer. Currently, there are only two sleep users in Pokémon Masters, Agatha and Ramos. Ramos is a 3-star gacha, but Agatha is relatively better. She has higher speed and her trainer move can also cap speed, which provides invaluable move gauge support. However, Agatha is a 4-star gacha, so you might need more pulls to get her. Hypnosis and Sleep Powder have the same accuracy, so both characters are functional for a Sleep Lock. Additionally, you really want to give them the lucky skill Troublemaker 1, which comes from Crunchy Cookies, the pink ones. This skill will raise Hypnosis and Sleep Powder's accuracy from 75% to 93.75%, and it makes the Sleep Lock much more reliable. The biggest issue with the Sleep Powder and Hypnosis is that they have 75% accuracy, so to make this stat reliable, we need a way to permanently buff the stat. Currently, there are only 3 sync pairs that can buff accuracy: Sabrina with Sixth Sense, Signasurelessa with Breathtaking, and Leaf with her sync move. All are 5-star gachas, unfortunately. Thornton can use Telekinesis to prevent attacks from missing, but he's way too slow for him to take up a spot on the party. Meilin can also give Sure Hit, but only twice. Rosanta has a chance of providing an accuracy buff, but it's incredibly inconsistent. If you have Troublemaker 1, you need 1 accuracy buff for 100% accuracy. Without Troublemaker 1, you need 2 buffs. If you have no way to buff accuracy, you will have severe RNG issues with this strategy. In theory, any striker works for this strat, but we're looking for a couple specific qualities to make this battle easier. We want low bar moves, such as Bubble Beam and Rock Throw, and we're looking for self-sufficient buffs, preferably that include Crit and Speed. You need to pierce Entei shields, and you need to get all the move gauge support that you can possibly get. For these reasons, I recommend Barry. He's a story unit, and even without Sync Grid, he performs very well on this battle. He has a type advantage against Entei, and a 3 out of 5 scouts. His Sync Grid expansion lets him Sync Nuke for massive damage thanks to Inertia. Other recommendations I would make include any unit with a Sync Grid for the move gauge refresh. Also units like Cybold, Crasher Wake, Signasuit Grimsley, Red, Olivia, Karen. As long as your striker can keep up the chain of attacks, they are going to work. On this example, I am going to show you a run against a very hard Entei, where I took all of his 3 Hell Bars, and I also took no damage, so it was a successful chain of Sleep Powders the entire battle. And ironically, very hard is the easiest difficulty to Sleep Lock, because Listen Sleep 9 works a little better for the Q. Either way, I'm using Signasurelessa to provide an accuracy buff to Ramos for 100% accurate Sleep Powder, and also Barry as my general striker. This is a 3 out of 5 Barry who has Inertia, so he just deals massive damage with his Sync Nukes. And because it was a no damage run, I could have done a couple optimizations to make things go a little better for my move gauge. For example, on the first turn, instead of Sleep Powdering with Ramos, I could have gone for X Speed for extra move gauge refill. In the end, I had to use Bubble for my DPS because Bubble Beam was taking too much move gauge and it was messing up my strat, but that kind of optimization depends on you, because Entei doesn't hit very hard from the get-go, so you can afford to take a few attacks from him. So for the first round, you're going to Sleep Powder. You can do it from the get-go. There are no timings involved because there were no Sleep Powders coming beforehand. So we want to start buffing up, give Ramos the accuracy buff, and go for max power on the entire party. This is why Signasurelessa also synergizes well with Barry. She can max out his special attack. Now, notice here that I am not queuing the Sleep Powder right away. This is the key to the Sleep Lock strat. If you queue Sleep Powder as soon as you can, when the round is available, then you're going to hit Entei when he's still sleeping, and the sleep powder will not connect. It will fail, and then Entei will wake up and hit you. So the trick to sleep lock is waiting for the first turn on your round to pass by, just a little bit. So for example, here I'm waiting for no hesitation for all my buffs, including the ramp up, and then I use a sleep powder. So now Entei is barely going to wake up, and Ramos will immediately hit him with a sleep powder and prevent him from attacking. And this is the standing principle for a sleep lock. You have to wait for the first round in your chain of attacks for first attack to go off, wait until the end of it for some of the Q to elapse, and then keep the sleep powder chain going. Of course, you also want to sync move when available to buff up your damage, and it's especially helpful for Barry because most of his DPS comes from sync moves. And after a sync move, I noticed that you have a chance to Q a couple attacks. Like Rotom was Q'd right after the sync move from Empoleon, but here I can use another bubble, wait for the Thundershock to hit Entei, and this was the first attack on this round, so that means that I need to Q it right now, right by when the animation is about to end. So now I Sleep Powder, and we will block another attack from Entei. And from there afterwards, I like having Bubble as the first attack on my round, wait for the Bubble to hit, wait for some of these animations to pass, and then Sleep Powder to keep the sleep chain going. And that's basically what you do through the entire battle. You need to be a little careful when there is transitions. I still don't get the timing on this quite right, but when Entei reaches some certain ranges of health, you get these pop-ups. And sometimes Entei will Q his attack immediately, even though he was supposed to be asleep. I am not entirely certain why that happens, but usually I was able to work around it because the party can tank a single attack. It was annoying when I was doing the no damage run, but what you also need to watch out for are the phase transitions. You need to make sure that you have a sleep powder go off after you kill the phase. Because when Entei changes phases, all of his status ailments will go away, so then he will Q and attack immediately. So notice that right before the bubble hit, I made sure to also connect a Sleep Powder so that it was Q'd before Entei got an attack off because of the phase transition. So you also gotta watch out for that. Make sure that the Sleep Powder can block a phase transition. And just keep going from there. It's the same deal the entire battle. Q Sleep Powders as soon as my first attacks go off, and you ultimately end up destroying Entei with 20k single damage or some such. Bop. Now, as for sleep locking normal and hard difficulties, I don't recommend it. For this strat, you want both Ramos and Agatha on the party, plus another striker, so you really want Troublemaker 1 for both of them. And the timing is a little rougher because on these difficulties, Entei wakes up a little later, so it's not as easy to time as on very hard, and you just have to guess it. Like, you just may make some attacks go by. Keep an eye on Entei's little sleep icon. When it starts flickering, it means that he's going to wake up soon. So that's when you want to start chaining a Sleep Powder plus Hypnosis to make sure that he goes back to sleep and prevent damage. But don't try to do a sleep lock on these difficulties. I don't think it's consistent enough. Alright, hopefully this tutorial helps you get the Entei medals. This strat is purely a skill base, there is no RNG involved if you set it up right, so you just have to learn the timing, and ultimately it's a very simple strategy. Thanks for watching.